Hi, my name is Afshan Hassan, and I'm the founder of Pregnancy Safe Cosmetics. Pregnancy Safe Cosmetics is a very unique company. We are part niche beauty brand and part fertility coaching practice. Our coaching programs and our products are found in over 20 fertility clinics in the US, 8 wellness practices, and also 1 dental practice. We intend to expand our services and products to acupuncture clinics, wellness retreats, and wellness spas. And I'm going to get into how I started it and why I started it in a minute. But before I do so, let me just say my 2 biggest challenges that I'm kind of focusing on these days are to be able to expand my reach and then handle the product demand and the patient inflow that comes in from having successfully expanded our reach. And we have a very unique and innovative pricing model. We bundle our coaching with our products. So that makes it very popular because the bulk of what you pay for the products plus consulting is really what you would pay for 12 bottles plus of product at Sephora. And so if you do pay a little bit more for the consulting, it's very little. And it's an insanely popular offer. So that is why my main focus these days is just getting a chance to put that offer out there more and more, and then being able to handle the demand. And both of those parts are a little bit challenging for me. I am not an influencer. I don't have time to be posting on Instagram and building up my influence. And if you are an influencer, you do have 50,000 followers, then it's kind of easier to get on these podcasts. I was successful in getting onto the Real Foodology podcast hosted by Courtney Swan. She's a Maha influencer. Her podcast is the #1 podcast in health and wellness, sector on Apple Podcasts, and she's been all over the news with Vanny, this food babe, and Trump, and being able to talk for an hour on why clean beauty is not fertility safe and why it's not pregnancy safe was a real treat and a real honor. But it's not a given that I can be on all the other famous podcasts. So getting onto podcasts, getting in front of folks and just meeting the people I need to meet and being able to present the offer is as big a challenge as meeting the demand. Actually meeting the demand and making an app is far simpler. Now let me tell you a little bit about why and how I got into this and my personal story. I got into it in part because I worked with a beauty brand consulting firm at around the time when the US was thinking about changing its regulation of cosmetic ingredients. And I was tasked with the project of comparing and contrasting what was going on in the EU, and in America. And actually in the European Union, there are 2,500 ingredients that are banned and not allowed at all. In the US, there are 11. Even after the 2022 change in legislation, that is the way it is. And when I realized this, after having gone through a very difficult time trying to conceive and then finally getting pregnant, I started in my 30s, got pregnant in my 40s, and after having really cleaned up most of my environment, and then still ended up giving birth prematurely to my daughter, who is at 30 weeks, 2 pounds, 8 ounces. It was a very shocking kind of experience, very difficult. She had to spend 6 weeks in the NICU with all kinds of problems, and I didn't know if she would make it. And so that stayed with me as well. And ultimately, I wanted to make products that were really a cut above all the rest that you find in the States. And that's what I did. My products are made in Europe, where 2,500 ingredients are banned. Every single product I make is certified and verified by EcoCert, which doesn't just paper verify products. They go into the manufacturing site and make sure that what is in the bottle is on the label and vice versa. Everything I have is 98, 99, or 100% natural. In the European Union, petroleum is not considered natural. So there are no petroleum ingredients in there, no parabens, no phthalates, no synthetic fragrances. Everything is hand-checked by me against databases, multiple databases, where we try to figure out not just what EWG says and what Yucca says, but really what the medical research says about these ingredients. And the products are a cut above the rest. The Ceramide Nighttime Cream has peony extract. It's harvested once a year. So it's an amazing product. And then you have functional medicine, like one-on-one sessions with me that are not just like courses and hacks. They're actually me looking at your lab work, and it's a level of coaching that you would get with any fertility coach trained in functional medicine, integrative medicine, charging you 4K. And instead of, you know, paying 4K, you go on a shopping spree in my shop and you buy 6 months worth of products. And and it's great. It's a great, wonderful offer. Everyone loves it. Very popular. If you go to my Instagram account and you click the link in my bio, you'll have access to that podcast I talked about. If you click the pinned videos, you'll have a little bit more about my personal journey. You'll see actually my little tiny 2 pound 8 ounces baby daughter, and what I went through in the NICU with her. I want to keep this video short, so I'll end by saying we are in a fertility crisis. In about 10 to 15 years, 7 states in the United States will have an average sperm count of 0. And this is inevitable. Sperm count has only ever declined. It's never plateaued. It's never gone up. We are headed there. There will be a time, unless we reverse it, that, we won't have young people to go to work. And what's going to happen to our economy? I am trying to not just reverse this, but give individuals, couples, power. It's about empowerment. It's about taking back your fertility journey. And it works. I have women in their 30s going and getting IVF cycles done with the clinics that I work with and having 40 eggs retrieved, 19 embryos. They're in their 30s. That's typical for like an early 20s. Even late 20s don't have 40 eggs and 19 embryos. That's crazy. And many of them good quality ones. So what I do works. It's innovative. It's special. It's awesome. And I hope I get this grant that I am applying for. And I wish you a lovely day. Bye.